So someone wrote to The Cut with a relationship dilemma. They recently moved to a new city for a 2-year job opportunity and ended up meeting someone really great who was also on a short-term stay. The catch, they both must move to different places at the end of their contracts and know the relationship realistically will not last long-term. So is this a good idea? And have you ever started something knowing that it had an expiration date?
I have. You know, it's one of those things where you start something like in the summer and you know that person's gonna go away or they were only in town for the summer, and then you say to yourself, and I was younger, you say, you know, you have this agreement and you're real cool about it. Yeah, like after the summer it's gonna be over, I'll be totally fine with it. Are you sure? Yeah, and you lie to yourself, at least I did. You know, you lie to yourself that you're the cool girl. Oh, I can walk, I won't fall, I won't catch feelings, as the kids say these days. And in my case, inevitably, I caught the feelings, had a bad case of the feelings, and wasn't that cool, brave, whatever girl who was, you know, living up to a script, but not actually living up to that script, and then had my heart broken at the end because he bounced. So I think that I don't know how realistic it is. Maybe some people can do it, but can we prevent ourselves from falling in love?
If you choose wisely, I think you can.
It was like choosing poorly on purpose.
First of all, let me just say, I think the idea of an expiration date is a bit wonky because like expiration date is like, oh, it's not like food, like where all of a sudden, oh, it's gone bad. Like that, you don't want a relationship where you know at a certain point it's gonna go bad. But I've done this twice, and they were very particular times of my life. Like one was right before going to university. I was 18 years old. I met up with this guy, his name was Todd. He wasn't a Todd though. He like had long hair, he was in a rock band, he had a nose ring.
Like a cool Todd.
Cool Todd.
Cool Todd.
And like I just knew there was not enough depth for this to ever, like I was attracted to
so it was a good time.
It was a good time, not a long time. I was like, well, I'm gonna peace out.
So is your advice to make sure you choose someone who is not husband material?
Yes.
every time?
Yes. Oh. There's learning to be made in those kinds of things. Now, it depends on the phase of your life. Obviously, this isn't something that's gonna work for every phase of life. Right?
I mean, a phase of life, like, it doesn't sound like, no offense to Todd, that you would have fallen in love with Todd at 28, never mind 18, if he was not that deep.
But I wouldn't have wasted my time either. I wouldn't have wasted my time in my late 20s if I was looking for. You're at a different phase of life.
So number one, phase of life. Number two, choose someone dumb who doesn't stimulate you.
Hot and
Sorry, but like
hot and dumb.
No,
but you know what else? Life is long. You don't know what's going to happen. Setting up a relationship foundation with someone, you don't know if you're going to interact with them again later. You might meet up at a later part of your life, you know, and then suddenly you have something important that you can build on. I don't think you should limit yourself based on knowing an ending. Like, everything ends, you know? Nothing is permanent.
But I was gonna, or everything is unpredictable. Love is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Life is unpredictable.
Feelings are unpredictable.
You could try to follow the script of meeting the person in your same hometown, and you grow up and you get married, and then 10 years later you're in divorce court. Like, there is no predictable way that love goes, and that's why love is the way it is, because you don't know the script.
Yeah.
True.
I had a girlfriend who was in line at an airport. She struck up a conversation with the guy in front of her. They got to chatting. He lives in China. He's like some golf pro. She lived in Australia at the time. They got chatting, and they kind of started to date long distance, but in her mind, she's like, yeah, whatever. Girl fell hard. Fell hard. Fast forward, they've been married for 15 years. She moved to China. She didn't know her life was going there, and they're blissfully happy. You don't know.
Right. The moral of this story, I feel like, is that you really, like, again, it might work for some people at certain times. It might not work. It might end up in something bigger. There's no
I had
rule.
a roommate in college, and we were super close, and he became one of my best friends. And we've lived in different cities our whole lives, and it was fine. He moved to Toronto. He was here for 5 years, and then last year he was like, oh, I'm moving away again. And I remember he felt like he was breaking my heart.
Oh.
That was the end of a bromance, it felt like. But it was just an emotional moment. Now we still chat all the time. Our families hang out. It's great. He might move back. Who knows? You got to be open to change, you know?
That's life.
That was lovely.
That's
I love you, Peter. He's not dead. I don't know why I looked at the sky. He's alive. He's very well.
Hey there, wasn't that great? Do you know where you can find some equally good content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with discussions, debates, and some laughs. Head there now, like and subscribe.